everyone, welcome back to the studio. So today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite practices that I love to use within yoga, and that is myofascial work. So what is myofascial work? If you're not familiar with it, myofascial work is actually working with the connective tissue in our body. Fascia is connective tissue that is right below the skin and that is all over our bodies. You can think of fascia tissue almost as like a spider web. So it's really sticky, it gets really fuzzy, it's all connected and has this inner system that communicates within each other. It also communicates with all of the other systems in the body, but specifically the nervous. So why do we want to think about myofascial work or fascia tissue in general when it comes to our yoga practice? The reason is that fascia tissue is actually the first layer that we can work on before we go way into the muscles. Now, what do I mean by this? So because it's that layer of connective tissue that's right under the skin, fascia tissue is really easy to get bunched up, fuzzy, or just overall kind of stuck. So think about in the mornings when you wake up and you do a big stretch and you move your arms and you wake up, you feel almost like a release in your muscles. It's actually not your muscles, it's your fascia tissue waking up in the morning. So fascia tissue can get bunched up through stress, it can get bunched up through, not moving our bodies, it can get bunched up in so many ways. And when we wake up in the morning and we don't move our bodies, it can even get bunched up then. So how do we actually get into working with the fascia safely and effectively? Well, the first thing we can do is actually utilize tools like these ones. So these are two yoga balls that are designed by a company called Yoga Medicine or Tiffany Cruikshank. Tiffany Cruikshank is the founder of Yoga Medicine, and she did a training with my teacher, and my teacher based her training on her training. And so I learned how to use, I learned how to do myofascial work through my yoga training a few years back. I'm not sponsored. I don't have any affiliations with Yoga Medicine. I just fully believe in what they're doing in their mission, and I love using myofascial work as a part of my yoga practice. So let's talk about the difference between these two little tools you can use. So we have a gray one and a teal one. You can see the gray one is obviously a lot bigger, it's a lot more bouncy. The teal one is it's a little bit harder. What are the differences? So the gray one you actually use for overall, let's say like general opening, general pain. So we'll think of like overall pain in our back, the gray one. The teal one is a little bit more specific for certain spots. So let's say that knot that's been in your back for a long time, the teal one. Now these two tools are really specific for fascia tissue. So we don't want to just be using a tennis ball or a golf ball or just random things. We really want to be specific when we're going into the fascia tissue because it's so sensitive. It's connective tissue. So I'd really suggest using Yoga Medicine's myofascial balls. Now I can't go into every way on how to use them today, but there are so many different ways to use them safely and effectively. So if you are curious to learn more, I will add more videos. Yoga Medicine also provides a plethora of videos on their channel as well. But if you're really wanting to do more than just stretch or get into the body, or you're really not feeling those differences that you're wanting, try myofascial work. Myofascial work has changed my life in terms of helping with my anxiety, helping with my trauma, helping with my PTSD, helping with just feeling overall overwhelmed all the time. Because the fascia tissue is so interconnected with our nervous system, by releasing the fascia tissue, we actually can help release some blocks within our nervous system. So if you're really wanting to dive into myofascial work and utilize it within your yoga practice, I would definitely suggest starting with going to Yoga Medicine and getting some tools for yourself, just so you can start to really feel that difference. And like I said, you don't want to just be using a tennis ball, you don't want to be using anything random. We really want to be specific when it comes to working with the fascia tissue because it is so sensitive and because it is that connective tissue. So head over to Yoga Medicine, check out what they have to offer, and stay tuned for future classes where we will really utilize these two tools.